Hey folks, we're back. Thanks for waiting for that long delay. Sorry it took so long. We were waiting a while on PenguiN, but looks like he's finally joined us. So PenguiN versus ByuN, ZvT. It's still a best of 5, but now we're in the losers bracket. So there's no backup, there's no follow-up. There's just simply death awaiting one of these players and a qualifying spot waiting the other. Although I say
Harsh.
death, but I don't really know how that 9th and 10th spot gets determined. So maybe there'll be like a secondary bracket made of the losers here, or maybe it's just the...
You know what? I want to find out. I'm curious.
Okay, because they gave a very brief, not detailed explanation earlier, so I'm not quite sure how that works. We'll explain what we're talking about more for those who are a bit confused. But let's get into the game first. Spawning here in the lower right, he's been doing 3 Raxes all day, and looks like we'll see it once again. It's our blue Terran ByuN.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is PenguiN.
You know, I can't really justify this by much other than gut feeling, but I feel like ByuN's got better control than Gumiho, right? So, watching Gumiho do some crazy stuff with the Medevac Reapers, I would love to see what ByuN could do with that.
It'd be cool, but it would be certainly a different way to follow things up. And a lot of what ByuN does best is a clean, aggressive follow-up. I'm trying to think of a better word, but I think it's the best way I can put it. You know, it's not just the initial Reapers, it's the perfectly timed 16 Marine follow-up, and having a Medevac and eight Reapers guaranteed alive changes that, I think. But I'm just going to read what the bracket says. The 4 players that lose in the losers round 4, which is this round, play a single elimination best of 5 to advance to the main event. So I don't think anyone's out of this tournament yet.
Ah, so there's like a losers bracket. It's almost like triple elimination.
Yes. So
Okay, so death doesn't await these guys yet. But it's so crazy to consider, like, with a 32-player bracket, 10 players qualifying through, your chances of getting to IEM are really high. Like,
oh yeah,
absurdly high.
they're pretty good. You know, unfortunately, a lot of really good players are already out, though, so you can just see how good the bracket already was. But we are here watching ByuN, once again, 3x Reaper. The Overlord still has a way to go before it sees this for PenguiN. Probably see the second Reaper, you know, long before. And we'll see how PenguiN reacts to this. We've seen multiple Zergs do multiple things.
I think PenguiN's not too shabby of a player, but unlike Solar and Rogue, I don't classify him as top tier. So like, he might have an okay job dealing with Joe Schmo's Reapers. I don't know how well he'll deal with ByuN's.
Yeah, one thing we haven't seen yet in 6 TVZs, of which like 5 of them were Reapers, is the Zerg player die to them. In fact, we saw the Zerg players 3-0 both their opponents, so it's not even about dying to the Reapers. They didn't die in general, funny enough. So it'd be quite a shock if PenguiN actually was not as good so far as to say that he just straight up dies to it, like loses lings and he gets overwhelmed. It's dangerous with that queen being so low. There's really not that many lings, and they're going to be slow for another 10 seconds.
Tumor's in a very interesting spot, but it's just picked off immediately.
I can't quite get that Reaper.
Can't quite get that queen. Same problems.
The Reapers are very low, though, from so many attacks, and those Lings came in at the exact right time. Ling speed kicked in, too. Close.
Okay. I thought that was going to get a lot worse. That looked like that was about to snowball out of control, but ByuN, well, still going to have the same problems.
Yeah. PenguiN doing pretty well in this kind of timing, almost. He basically is, like, sending out Lings as ByuN is recovering. It's kind of like that best moment. Now, PenguiN, like, it just is the way things go. You won't have enough larvae to sustain Ling production on 2 bases, so you're going to fit in a third anyways. PenguiN not quite fitting in a third, actually just trying his best. There we go, finally a third on the way. But I was going to say, if the Reapers found it as it starts building, they can kill it. ByuN checked the wrong base, though, and now he's going to come back to deal with the Lings. Or not. He's going to try and just out-repair those Lings. It's dangerous. He doesn't have his main Lings.
this is a huge part of him being on this side of the wall. If this was the other side of the map too, it'd feel like a lot worse. You listen to reactors. You can't repair everything. So this works out well. Now he does end up coming home. Although I'm surprised. I really thought he was going to push into the natural while this was going on with the way he was using his Reapers.
That
or
just
not
means
using
that
the Reapers, I guess.
for 30 seconds he was indecisive, which is probably the worst, thing you can say. Because if he had dedicated as we thought he was going to do, he probably gets a kill in the third. Like, PenguiN was started sending all of his lings, and that third was at a much less health. But now it's almost done. So the Reapers don't have a shot.
Couple grenades going down. He's holding his own here in a good way. Blows himself down to the low ground. That ends up hurting. I don't think that was on purpose. That maybe one bad grenade sending him off.
Yeah. Still takes the best trade possible, I think. Like, he was quite calm about his grenade usage. And he does... I mean, he still manages to have an equal worker count, which is good news for ByuN. I said PenguiN, his third base felt a little bit late. Like, for instance, Solar fit his in so smoothly and almost like a secret on that sequencer game. That was very quick. And, of course, also putting so much into Lings. This Baneliness also feels a little early. We saw Rogue deal with ByuN's follow-up with just Lings. And a faster Spire, mind you, but just Lings. I guess it is just for the defense, of course, because he's getting +1 Carapace as well. There's the Lair now on the way. And yet again, he's trying to find a supply depot down, I think.
There's a possibility that's the case, but unlikely when you have somebody like ByuN who's very attentive.
Yeah, and just... there's no reason for a Terran to go out usually before medevacs. Although that's exactly what ByuN has been doing, leaving a little prematurely and pairing up his medevacs later. This is an annoying amount of time to have to clean up a Overlord. He might still be able to hit before +1 Carapace, but it also is going to be before +1 weapons. No combat shields.
Yeah, that delay on the Overlord kill may have been acceptable in his mind because it would time out better with combat shields, or not combat shields, weapon upgrades, but not going to help out with PenguiN having his own upgrades to match that.
Well, PenguiN had a Baneliness, but spent his time getting 2 Banelings and only can afford 3 of them because he just started. Oh, there's 4. Okay, there's 8 of them. All right, that was certainly enough. Although off of creep would have been a little bit more dangerous if ByuN was all together.
This one queen is a little bold.
She's got this. Going into the main base, I don't think ByuN's expecting much from this. A little too obvious, and the army was pretty close. But if it does take away enough for the bottom 2 medevacs to do some work, then that'd be great.
It should be easy for him to focus down the Banelings. There's only a couple.
Yeah, they were slow. Spore Crawler is surprisingly annoying. Helps for sure. Push that back.
The lack of Banelings makes this so problematic on both fronts. The Banelings coming down in the main aren't going to roll down here to deal with this too easily. Speed's still not done. I guess this amount of initial Banelings should be okay though.
Yeah, 7's a pretty hard number to focus fire entirely, so that ends up being pretty perfect. I could have sworn there was something else.
That's nice.
Yeah, and that was the Widow Mine. Now ByuN can just try and clean up creep spread. That is, now that his multi-pronged attack didn't really work, creep spread's still a good thing to follow up with. Even gets the creep spreading clean.
That army supply difference right now is kind of insane. The Martian in the middle of the map is coming in. PenguiN doesn't have anything. He's got a bank going because he's hoping to swap the mutas, but right now he's going to wish he had spent all of that on Banelings.
He got almost 40 army supply. It's going to be even for a moment, then PenguiN will take the lead again, but can he hold on? He's got some decent creep spread. So it is going to take a while for ByuN to really push forward and be threatening. PenguiN needs to use those moments as much as possible. He's at 65 drones, and if he had a 4th base already, he'd actually be pretty well off, but only just clearing that Widow Mine up. He did already clean up creep spread to the north, so Maybe changing tactics, maybe just looking for a fourth base. Double drops going to the fourth. As of course stalled out for so long to also get a cancel on it would be quite good. Oh god.
Even on creep too, he takes out those families with relative ease. Very nice trade. Now it's not the 30 army supply that it was before, but the problem still persists that this is army supply that's not going to be in Lings and Ultras or anything. It's Mutas, which can sometimes be very fragile.
PenguiN does a very good job of cleaning up these drops. Last minute split too. I mean, ByuN definitely was not expecting to be countered with that maneuver into the main base. He took so long to realize he was being destroyed. But that was not so bad. PenguiN manages to bridge that gap of army supply only to 10 now. He does have that upgrade lead with the Carapace. And he secured his fourth base out of gold.
It was
a scary moment, but he survived.
Second factory finishes up. And he's going for vehicle armor once again.
Yeah, ByuN is, I think it's like the first game we've seen him play to a fourth base, not just 3 base attack and then hope to transfer his main. Some Wood Mines are cleaned up with that, but still 5 of them left over. PenguiN's got to be very careful, especially as he goes off the creep.
Ooh.
PenguiN's doing a very good job, and now he's going to collapse in here.
Yeah, Medevac's got really low from, wow, Blade Worms and Friendly Fire, frankly. ByuN has his game turned on him in one, like, really stark engagement.
Yeah, exactly. It's really turned on him. Now he's the one selling 30-40 army supply. Upgrades about to finish for him, sure, but they're already done for PenguiN. He manages to, I guess, maybe Muta out of this, but that was not worth it for the general overall engagement, and he's lost so much momentum, too. He has a fourth base in production, so eventually he could catch up because PenguiN's not going for the kill, but it's going to take him a very long time, and in that time, PenguiN should be doing something, whether it's harassing with Mutas or getting to Ultras. Either both. Either one.
This is a really cute bait up there, by the way, as inefficient as it was. Well, let's say PenguiN decides to go to the main, right? Hypothetically, aim for the reactors, aim for the SCVs. There's Thors, there's Wood Mines, there's some Marines, and they're all at home right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, certainly PenguiN has lost the opportunity to go for a counterattack. Waited a bit too long, and ByuN's obviously going to stay at home for a little while longer. But that's where, yeah, an imposition should be definitely coming down. Mutas should be growing in that number that is scary unless you get 4 Mutas or 4 Wood Mines. The Thor can be taken on. It's a dangerous thing to do. You don't know how far away those Marines were. It's been a long time since I've seen a Muta force take out a Thor in the main base.
Yeah, that magic box is old school.
Yeah, usually they just avoid it entirely. I managed to lose like quite a few Mutas on the backside though. Like that did not end up looking so worth it. But he's the one that has, as I said, like a big map, creep spread, and ByuN back at home. PenguiN's the one with a lot of time on his hands to make those Mutas. And buy even more time probably with another run by. The ByuN, he was down 30 army supply, has quickly bridged it. And PenguiN, I mean, he got a devastation pit, but he didn't even fit in a hive here. Instead of having to use the gas to remake the Mutas and then make a lot more Banelings. Okay, that's anti-Muta. Did PenguiN not capitalize enough? Looks like he's gonna lose his 5th.
Do you think that's more anti-Muta or pro anti-headache?
Not.
Yeah, exactly. Wood Mines get a phenomenal hit at the top of the ramp, but the Marines still walk face first into a lot of Banelings.
Yeah. PenguiN still has a lot of army left to go. I thought that was a very, very scary arc for ByuN, but not as effective as I thought he was going to be, or ByuN hoped he was going to be. That 5th base remains intact and secure, and PenguiN comes back, cleans up the Wood Mines, and does have that hive finally on the way. Probably going to also go for a 6th at some point, just to have something to transfer over to. It's clear where ByuN's trying to attack now. Also, he's going to go around. I think there's a single Wood Mine to at least notify ByuN this is happening, but obviously not enough to kill everything.
11 kills still bad.
Good supply depot left.
Now No banelings. It's a shame this isn't a planetary.
Oh, no, there are banelings. Oh, back up. Okay, well. 9 SCVs died, and the reinforcements also died to the banelings that were rolling in a little bit after. So that means that there's not enough to take care of the lings that are actually going to be able to crack down the supply depot. It's kind of turning into a base trade.
Exactly, right? Like, there's not a lot to defend on the other side of the map either. Big splash hits off and only barely tickles the Thor. Spine crawlers are set up, but that's still not going to be enough to stop the army. Production for ByuN, though, is getting wrecked back at home.
Yeah, I think this is more of a snowball situation because ByuN has to be on creep when he attacks, and there's so many banelings finishing up.
There's an interesting element to this. PenguiN actually can't kill ByuN with what he's creating. Don't forget, that's a planetary with like 5 missile turrets around it on the other side. But ByuN may have just lost a lot of momentum, so even though he might not die easily, he's got no production. He's not gonna. He's putting down like 6 barracks now desperately. If
it was a real base race, like PenguiN was caught without any banelings defensively, totally on board the planetary being the hero of this game.
But it doesn't pick up the Marines. He taps out. PenguiN takes the first game off of ByuN.
Zerg strong?
You know what? We had 3 Zerg players in the winners bracket, right? Rogue, Dark, and Solar. I mean, Maro joins them only because he didn't have a Zerg player to lose to.
He was entirely Zergless in his bracket. Guys, I'm seeing a trend here. Time to go to Reddit.
No, there's been proven favoritism here in the map pool regarding Zerg. I mean, I think a good player is still going to beat out a map pool, but definitely Zerg's pretty happy right now. Now, I'm not saying that PenguiN doesn't deserve that victory, and it's the first victory of what is hopefully going to be a couple more, but yeah, it's tough watching someone like ByuN suffer like this, man.
Well, yeah, I think it's tough, especially for those who are having trouble themselves, to watch not just one Terran, but one Terran twice and another Terran entirely, well, not do so well. And maybe some people will be pointing more so to the 3-Rax openers that we've been seeing rather than the map pool. But in some cases, I think the 3-Rax openers are because of the map pool they are given. It seems like counterintuitive that a bigger map would mean more Raxes, but it's more like I hope I can change up the map enough by changing the early game that it works out. I think we saw it last time Terrans had some complaints against Zerg, which is like 6 months ago. Anyways, next map's gonna be Proxima, so another big map.
Hey, I'm gonna follow this up with a private message, but how tired are you right now?
I'm not that tired.
Okay. We're getting into game number 2 in this best of 5. Very interesting game, number 1, of course, but I said he wouldn't do it earlier, and I was completely wrong, so I'm excited to wait and see how he'll do Reapers this game. Ladies and gentlemen, in the top right, it's the Red Terran, ByuN.
In the bottom left is the blue Zerg. It's PenguiN.
I mean, do you think he'll go for the Reapers again, all silliness aside?
I feel like I shouldn't answer that because we're gonna find out in like a second.
Yeah, this is where you gotta do like the QXC answer where you drag it out so you just couldn't be wrong. You're like, well, I think he's going to build whatever fits the situation best, and in this case, it is more Rax.
Oh my god. I haven't heard that in a long time.
No disrespect to the guy, but it was always funny because you could very clearly tell what he was doing. It was so transparent.
I do remember. Isn't he going to be it's Valencia like a week?
I think, yeah. Wasn't he one of the players who qualified through?
Yeah. I think so.
This is kind of cool though. So he does do this a little bit differently, I suppose. Like you could make the argument that you could make the wall down here, right? And it's awkward and rough, but it gives you the 3 bases to fall back to instead of 2. But this is all high ground, so it's definitely safer no matter how you look at it. Other side of the map though, PenguiN taking this base out here, this is actually a vulnerability. If he took the base back here, it's a lot more difficult for the Reapers to get anything done.
It's kind of a double-edged sword though. It's surprisingly effective for the Reapers to have so much area in a main base to run around, because creep spread isn't a factor until then. So they literally get in the main base and can do whatever they want without having to really retreat. Against the slowlings, of course, when speedlings come out, it's a entirely different game, but that is what we're talking about is the very, very early game. So, yeah, this third base is vulnerable because it has drones on it, and it's just a quicker access to the Reapers. For the Reapers, it at least has that creep spread already made. The hatchery is literally a thing. And the lings can safely go back to their baby, or their mother queen. They're the babies. Queen's the mother.
Well, actually, in Zerg culture, the babies are the mothers, zombie grub.
That isn't... What? What? Anyways, alright, so that was a pretty decent grenade there.
Yeah. He's poking at that queen pretty hard. Those lings still aren't getting on top of it. The first Reaper pulls back, but look at the slay this dragon.
Yeah. This, it just has, there's only one path. You know where the Reaper's going to be coming in, so that's where we saw the Spine Crawlers for Rogue, for instance, come down.
Yeah, that's not a Spine Crawler building, though. That's like a build cancel Spore Crawler.
Yeah. PenguiN having some difficulties, but Speed is about to finish up, and that's where he got to be his strongest last time, He took some damage on his queen, but then Speed finished up right on the time, and he was able to take out a lot of weak Reapers. These Reapers pulled back a little bit earlier, I think, so they're already full health. Not as effective. PenguiN is looking for a surprise attack. Reaper saw him.
Reaper count, by the way, is going above 9, although it's only 1 above 9, so not a lot to really look into there.
Did you actually PM me?
Yes, on Skype.
Oh. Okay.
But okay, so transferring out, we got the tech labs going for stim. Silliness of like, oh, it's 10 Reapers instead of 9. Not the craziest difference in the world.
Okay. Well, the Reapers look like they're about to get surrounded.
Ooh, everybody dance.
I feel like the grenades hurt the Reapers a couple times, a lot more.
Yeah, so, I mean, the idea is that you're trailing, right? And then you get past the grenade blast radius, and it goes off on the lings, and that's like the perfect way to do it. But when you're surrounded like that, you're going to take some friendly fire, and that just hurts. That hurts a lot. He's going to try and get some trades here in the back. I mean, a lot of these lings are very low. He might... What is this? What? I didn't even know this was a thing you could move to. Not that you ever need to, I guess.
I don't think anyone did.
That's like the third gas geyser on Odyssey, right? Like, nobody knew that was a thing.
All right, well, that ended up keeping a couple Reapers alive.
Yeah, Taryn, make note. If you ever need to run desperately to a part of the map, this is a little corridor you can aim for.
That's going to be some insider, very specific knowledge.
It's like the people who tuned into IEM only are going to be doing this for the next week. Well, actually, there's no situation where you want to be over there in the first place. You should be winning over here, right? But if you're desperate and you want to save 2 Reapers, ByuN's got your back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there is the smaller Marine follow-up. I was like, wait, that's way earlier. That's not as many Marines at all, and the medevacs aren't even being produced quite yet. Hoping to catch PenguiN without banelings, but I think that in this small number of Marines, even with stim, I think that lings actually take them on, and PenguiN's creep spread's pretty good. Those Reapers really couldn't stop that, so
yeah.
Okay, I guess ByuN just gonna stand on the outside. Stop any more creeps from coming forward.
I guess this is a force that off of creep could take on any sort of fight. So waiting for medevacs before he really pushes onto it makes sense. Just gonna clean up the creep, slowly push in. A lot of tumors that makes this really painful for him because he's gonna spend a lot of time dedicating per scan to try and get as much of these tumors as he can, and even then he can't get them all. PenguiN just replaces them. Yeah,
exactly. The queens aren't being touched. I'm not afraid to go forward here. And they're not only alive to put down those creep tumors, they're alive for dealing with the medevacs. Trying to deal with the medevacs. That is too many Marines now. PenguiN might have just made a mistake. That was a big mistake. Look at his banelings go off and creep too.
That like stim at a focus fire was such a disgustingly sick move.
Oh my god, PenguiN just made like a game-ending mistake.
Yeah. He gets us around the lings, but it doesn't matter. The Marines have no problem firing them down. He's going to get the focus fire on the Queen, the banelings, the everything, and that's going to be game 2, frankly.
It looks that way. Combat Toss isn't quite done, so those Lynx rounds are surprisingly effective, but God, it is game. It's it's game making damage anyways. ByuN third base is going to be on location, only halfway done. GG. Feels bad for PenguiN.
Pulling the drones at the end, I mean, that's a little bit desperate, of course, but yikes, things got out of hand very quickly. And that is like the difference right there, though, right? We actually brought this up during the Rogue series too. There's a lot of like these one mistake moments that can snowball to lose the game for you.
Yeah. Oh, darn it. Well, Ascension to Ire is next.
It's also the first not 3-0 today, which is kind of nice.
There you go.
Not for relative to what we discussed in private, but hey.
GG.
Is this every? Oh yeah, I guess it was just Emil. I forgot. We were just using Crank and Naruto in here.
Yeah, they decided to go on to other things.
Some of these other matches in the losers bracket, by the way, it's so hard to look at that as a losers bracket match. Like Niba Gumio, for example, that was the finals of Ting. Like there's so many good matchups, all things considered.
Oh yeah, good point. Should be casting that one.
Well, if they haven't started, maybe we can get dibs on it. But anyways, we're supposed to be casting 2 here in the losers bracket, and then 1 more after, guys, for the like losers bracket. It's kind of this weird triple elimination format. But we got to get through this one first. It's best of 5, tied up 1-1. In the top left, we've got the blue Zerg player, PenguiN.
Oof. And on the bottom right, as the red Terran, it is ByuN. He's proxying.
Okay, so it's 3x Reaper, but like with some spice.
Spicy. So it's kind of funny because PenguiN's not going to be scouting for this with a drone at all. What?
Is it going to be Reapers?
I guess I guess it could be Marines. Well, to my point that I was going to mention, either way, it's although it's not going to see the racks and to know what it is for like another 8 seconds, something like that. Surprisingly important because they depend on the Overlord to see what's at the front of their base, and there's going to be nothing at the front of the base for ByuN. There is a gas on the way. 4 racks Marine would have been spicy and different. Starts off with Marines, then he's going to add a factory. I don't know.
The Marine aspect of this, I think, is kind of interesting. We've seen this and we've seen it fail, but I guess if this bunker goes up undetected, it's at least a deny in the natural.
Yeah, I'd say build the Marines first to be worth. Yeah, if you can just get that bunker in there too. And I guess the gas is going to be Fallout Factory. Skips past the bunker. He knows he doesn't need it quite yet. And of course, PenguiN realizes what it is. I think some Terrans would wait to build up the Marine count a little bit more and then just use the bunker. Not ByuN.
He does already force out a spine crawler too. At first I thought this was a build cancel, but look at protection tab and that's a spine crawler straight up.
Yeah. Factory is put back at home. So he follows up with.
I love that little bro move, by the way. Swap switch SCV's building so he can repair the low one. It's actually a really smart move. Silliness aside, he'll need that repair.
Yeah. I'm like, this factory, because of course, watching the bunkers go down, it's going to be a wall off, and PenguiN is in trouble here, but that factory, I feel like we've seen someone, I don't remember who, follow up with tanks just rallied across the map. So if they don't break your bunkers before that happens, it's just never going to be broken.
If I had to put a blind guess out there, I'd just say Joshi, because he's the only one who likes to get disgusted with tanks that we've seen in recent days, but...
You might be right. Yeah. It's nothing so far. It's actually reactors, so maybe reactored Cyclones?
I would love to see Cyclones actually be the follow-up to this. I think the scrappiness of what they provide would complement the Marines really well, but the 3 bunkers is also a full wall off, so the thing is there's no counterattack potential whatsoever.
Yeah. It's gonna be a baneling bust. I imagine this is gonna be a baneling bust on the bunkers and then an attempt at a baneling bust
Oh, that
on the command center.
spine's gonna bleed out without creep. You won't even need to shoot it.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
Kill the bunker.
He's got the full health Marines. I'm surprised he's not doing that jump out micro.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it right now. Alright, well there's transfuse anyways, so the Lings try and come in here, and they're not going to have to use Banelings here and now, but they are going to lose their numbers. It is important to note, if he's going to all in beyond this, he sees the command center is put down, maybe there's a shot to cancel it actually.
That was such a big deal though. He wasn't dancing with the spine crawler, so you got to shoot on the bunker, and if that bunker was alive, even at low health, just preventing the surround, I don't think that would have gone so badly for ByuN.
Yeah, but it was Hellions following it up, by the way. I mean, I was thinking more like all-out aggression on one base, the Jockshi build that we probably saw. But it's a good thing he went for Hellions. I think it's the only way he saved his command center.
Even then, it got risky. It got dicey.
PenguiN won't find much to do with these Banelings. Oh no, he's not going to save it! Well, if he uses the Banelings on it, then that's questionable for PenguiN.
No, the Lings will get it. The Lings will get it.
They will. Cancel.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Catches some of the Hellions with that Baneling splash damage too. That's always going to feel nice.
They just popped out on the wrong side. Wrong part of time. That really sucks. With the command center finishes, I think ByuN's in such a good position.
Kills the SCV building the other command center. Oh, this is going to be so tilting for ByuN. Who is supply blocked very badly, by the way.
That's a way back in for PenguiN, but PenguiN still only just finishing up his natural command center. He's going to have to deal with Banshees soon enough. Just static defense plus whatever queens he manages to get out here, which won't be that many.
He did have to make a lot of Lings in Banelings to make the bunker break / that attack work. So unfortunately, his drone count wasn't exactly doing super well behind this. When that Banshee comes across the map, she actually doesn't have a really high bar set for her. She only needs to kill a small handful of drones, and it'll be really good for ByuN.
Point. It's really awkward. ByuN tried so hard to hide his Hellions moving out, and I thought he was going to be the one to roast and toast the Lings, but almost loses 2 Hellions. Losing 1 was still not what he was expecting. Queen should be able to take out enough to make the drones not worry. Exactly. And, well, I guess there's more on the way. That's gonna be like 6 Hellions. 6 Hellions distract while the Banshee goes in, or vice versa. As you said, there's not really a high bar for these drone kills. No, yeah. I thought ByuN left one of his barracks on what could have been the 3rd base, and what is usually the 3rd base. But I thought with that, he might have been going for mech. I was really weirded out by it. And I guess it is just a block of 3rd. Which it does successfully. PenguiN now has to take the other one, which might make him uncomfortable.
The other 3rd, I feel, is actually really good for ByuN to do that sort of drop and pick up shenanigans with, but man, he's done a great job shutting this down, but it's still going to go up. I mean, this insistence here, PenguiN doesn't want to take the other base. Yeah. It doesn't take too long to clean up, and ByuN's not even going to bother saving the barracks. He already has 3 barracks back at home. He now has his Hellions and Banshees grouped up together, but might still not be enough. That one Banshee is so low. Going in is just suicidal. Yeah, and they did not get a lot of drone kills. Nothing really happened as we were anticipating or ByuN was anticipating. So these are still important units. They can turn to Hellbats later with an armory, and the Banshees might eventually get 6 drone kills. But so far, so good for PenguiN, who's keeping his income afloat, I guess. It's not great at 40 drones. I thought the Banshees would cut it down significantly. There you go. No Spore Crawler. There's no Spore Crawler in the main. Is that one in the nat? No? Okay, there's one in the natural. Alright, so ByuN got a little bit lucky finding the Spore Crawlers one. It's 9 drone kills. Yeah, and that's going to even up the worker count, but these Hellions are waiting to catch a few more when they transfer down. Yeah. If PenguiN is on 50-something workers, he probably is transferring some. I guess that's the funny thing. ByuN may have killed too many for him to transfer.
ByuN is going to have a pretty big push. He's going to have 1-1 ahead of his opponents. He's just going to have simply +1 Carapace. He's going to have Hellions, and he could even wait for an army to build Hellbats.
And the Banshee's almost dead. Whether she goes back towards the main or just comes to help snipe off some Banelings in the front line, he does have at least that going for him too. But you mentioned this big push, and I am just going to point out the supply count, guys. Not the overall supply, but the army supply in particular. Yikes.
There's only 5 Banelings. 5 Banelings making, if the Hellions even soak up the Banelings, I think they're pretty worthwhile.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's what they do.
There's nothing for PenguiN to fight with.
What a weird game. Oh, okay, Banelings, you tried.
This is it. ByuN knows. Okay, the Reapers with a mistake. He's just gotta go for proxy Marines every game, apparently.
Exactly. Not a single Reaper was made in this game. Oh, PenguiN does not want to give up.
I mean, I don't blame him, but he is definitively out.
Yeah. I would say he's thinking there's no third, so maybe there's a shot, but I don't think PenguiN knows there's no third, which is weird. He just is refusing to let this game go. He's probably thinking it was a dumb opener and it was a dumb follow-up, and this sucks.
Yeah,
green, of course.
Just stomp your foot in the ground too while you're at it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right, there's always that moment of, oh, ByuN move commanded his Marines. He made some stupid mistake. I'm suddenly back in this. And I understand that reasoning for not tapping out. But, man, you down like half the army supply. If the Woodmines weren't getting shots, but they do, and they take out a lot of the Banelings.
I'm so hopeful for these 6 Banelings. They're going to be focus fired. They're going to be focus fired!
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Well, I'm really glad to see that ByuN's not totally out of the matchup, especially after that first series. But now 2-1 versus PenguiN. He puts his opponent on his last life.
His opponent does still have a losers bracket. It's good news.
It's so weird trying to wrap my brain around that phrasing.
It is. Abyssal Reef.
So I'm just gonna. What's this here?
Do. Okie dokie.
Okay, looks like we got everybody in the lobby, and we have that question raised. What kind of cheese of an opening is ByuN gonna go for?
I think that's the question now. Not just Reapers, but cheese in general.
Yeah, it really is no longer like what, or excuse me, will he, but what kind of will he?
Yeah. He's ready to go.
Let's just hop to the in-game scene. Abyssal Reef, normal map. There's not really a lot to be said other than the fact that this could be a really sick game. Let's hope for the best. He's up 2-1, and his opponent is on his last life. So if he can win this one, he qualifies through to IEM Shanghai. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for ByuN.
In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it's PenguiN.
So while we still don't know for sure or for certain which match we're doing next, the other matchup's currently going on. Again, I don't even know which one Wardy's covering on the B stream, but there's Rogue versus Bunny. There's Gumio versus Neeb. There's Trust versus Hero. In fact, it's almost gonna be no Protoss representation at this rate, which really feels bad, man. But yeah, Hero. That's Root Hero on there, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely Root Hero.
That's so weird to see him in the losers bracket from such an early round too. Who did he
Yeah.
lose to in the winners? ByuN. Wow.
All right. Well, Young found himself in the losers as well, so revenge in a way. I don't know. No. I'm hoping that Hero gets through. I guess actually, let's thinking of who is going to be at Shanghai as a final results. It's in like it's like a month, right? It's the end of July. I'm hoping, well, of course, for non-Zerg. So I'm sorry, PenguiN, but I'm kind of hoping against it here.
Yeah,
I already have enough of them.
You got enough, but also really quality ones too. What's nice is like the guys who won in the winners bracket. You've got Dark, Rogue, and Solar. They all played really sick series, and they all played really well. So, well, I mean, I'm assuming Dark did. We saw Solar and Rogue, of course.
Yeah, we'll assume that Dark played well. Right. So no cheese. We said it's a question of what did he do to cheese, and there's no cheese.
But this, what's that old Artosis quote, right? The cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is play normal.
Yes, exactly. Well, ByuN not quite ready to be called a cheeser in general, but I think he was dangerously close to it when he was doing, well, dangerously close to it today because he's doing literally nothing but like Reaper proxies and Reapers and proxies. There we go. But he's no like Haas or something like that. He's no Hero, actually, speaking of the guy. But nice Reaper control. PenguiN at this point in time is maybe relieved to see that he can finally play a standard macro game as his Overlord goes over the command center.
Yeah, actually, the first scout of the entire series, you'll see a command center completing, and I don't even know if he'll know what to do to process that information. Does the double take? Like, wait, what? What? Oh my god.
Well, of course, next scout has got to be on whether or not it's a factory opener or Marines. So we actually have no scouting quite yet, but it's a tech lab on the factory, which I think makes a lot of sense if it's like versus Protoss. Like you have those tank pushes on Abyssal versus Protoss. But versus Zerg, it's almost always a reactor. I imagine it's going to be a tank push. Why else would they put a tech lab on it? But
maybe it's going to be the Widowmine drop into like Banshees. I don't know. Yeah, this is weird. Like, if it is tanks, that's fine, and I think a really good move too. But he's swapping it off. It's just going to be for, I guess, the stim timing. Okay. Or not?
Just kidding.
Double bamboozle? Wait, was that for the scout? It was. He made sure the Overlord saw that before moving on to it. Oh, that was damn clever. Ooh.
It's been a while since we've seen fake outs versus Zerg. Just usually, I mean, with a 2-1-1 being so dominant for so long, it was just way too easy to scout and way too, like, you know, no one cared if it was scouted either. Like, it was about what you did with it, opposed to what you scouted. Alright, he sees Hellions. This is just a Marine drop, actually.
I really like the idea of this Marine drop, though, pushing off the Overlords, doing whatever you can to make it that PenguiN doesn't realize it's Banshees until the last possible second. There's Spore Crawlers down, granted, but there's still openings in these bases. Not a lot of extra queens were made, by the way. There's your additional queens that you would standardly have, but this isn't like going up to 9.
The Armory with Banshees, with a medevac with Marines. And that's about as good of an early push you can do. Oh, PenguiN.
ByuN is doing everything possible to make PenguiN not think about Banshees. I'm just throwing that out there. Like the Hellbat in the Armory.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And I mean, even if the Banshees are surprised or not, there's going to be an extra amount of DPS to deal with the Queens, man. This is looking like it's game over. PenguiN definitely trying to get more Lings, but it's going to be Lings, not Banelings. Trying to get a better position with his Queens at the very least, too. So they can at least help. Or instead of just die, but there's a Banshees.
I think okay.
Nice.
Loses the medevac, but I think the Banshee, one of the big things about this attack is it takes out so many Queens.
ByuN reinforced 2 different sides, so it ended up being a little bit awkward. I think Hellbats are cleaned up on the right side, too. Yeah, there you go. But the Banshees ended up being such a surprise. They got a lot of Queen kills, even though PenguiN had a Spore Crawler, just the Overseer. Second mage comes in here, rather.
Oh my god.
He's already replaced a lot of them, and he managed to save a couple of them, too. Just very, very low health. That wasn't as devastating as it looked it was going to be. And ByuN, mind you, pushed off a lot of his own upgrades and timings to do this. So, it's actually a question of did he do enough? It looked so desperate, but PenguiN manages to get out of that with 60 drones and just makes more now.
Yeah, the additional 3 barracks are just now coming down too for ByuN, so his production, it's not going to kick up. Not that he has a huge bank waiting for him, but is this a wall? Okay, it's a wall. It's barely a wall. Man, I hate walling with a command center.
Yeah, it's always dangerous. But like I said, a lot of upgrades are pushed off for ByuN to do that, and it didn't quite work out. So Sim only just started 1-1, not really that far along, whereas PenguiN going for the 1 evolution chamber that we've seen, I think, every single Zerg do today. Oh, no, never mind. He's got a second one. Well, starts off with only 1. Okay, whatever. Is already on his way to +2 Carapace. I don't think he's actually too afraid of those upgrades.
Yeah. I thought Banshee was going to get a lot more done this game, too. They really don't have that many kills on them. A little unfortunate, too, because it was such a cool way for this to open. And a little bit of mind games even going into the mix with what happened there in the main scouting, but ultimately well defended out of PenguiN.
Yes, an emergency defense for sure. A 4th base on the way, creep spread starting to get back up to be active. Whatever queens he lost, he was producing, and he only lost 2. There was like 2 other ones that were close to death, and one where that was like transfused or something, but only 2 at the end of the day. Not too devastating. ByuN's finally ready to go, even though this is not with Stim. He is going to make his 16 Marine drop happen.
It's like ByuN's going to a dinner party, and instead of showing up with like chicken or something, he brings 2 medevacs full of Marines.
That's what he would do. If this was Stim, this is a lot of damage done. He takes on those lings for a little while longer, maybe gets into the little crevice.
I mean, 1-1 just finished up. Stim's going to be done in a second. There's certainly a timing here for ByuN to hit, but there's also Mutas coming out too, so his staying power is not that great. Those medevacs will get picked off. High priority.
ByuN's already on his way to a 2nd factory, so we might even see a 4th CC thrown down. Play to the longer game, because the Stim was so late. These rocks have to be broken down eventually, so I guess why not? Those Marines really aren't doing anything else. If ByuN can't provide the pressure, then the Mutas can go and attack into the 3rd base or natural. Just chilling at home now.
Banelings are going to have speed for this, which would be nice. And 5 health, but most importantly, speed.
Combat chills isn't done. I guess that's what PenguiN's thinking about when he takes this engagement off of creep. Lings and Mutas will take care of Marines without combat shield pretty well. Even though there was a good like 16 Marines or something left over with all the Banelings gone, they still were cleaned up very easily.
Yeah, but this is round 2 ready to go pretty quick here.
Yeah, that was still a decent trade, even as he loses medevac on the way out. PenguiN is starting to get into the swing of things with enough drones and enough bases. Okay, 9 more drones, so it's definitely enough drones. And there is that 4th CC. Because again, the important upgrades are just so damn late. I don't think you can play that super aggressive rally forward style. So it's way too late in this game. Now he can be a little aggressive. Finally, they're done. His 2-2's about to finish as well. He'll have that upgrade lead. PenguiN's still waiting on his attack.
I feel like there's too many tumors in one spot.
It definitely is.
It's just a little.
No question about it. They still had energy to spare, so they put some more over the left side.
Well, so much for all those tumors. I guess they did buy time, so some of the Banelings get to hatch, but left side, the Mutas don't care about the army in the front. They're looking to cut off reinforcements or maybe harass the SCVs. This is going to prompt it out of ByuN. Does he continue to push, or does he pull back?
That 4th CC was so close to finishing, and it's going to have to be canceled. A Thor popped out, but it's taken so long to get over there. Reinforcements taking so long to get over there. He does get the cancel. Very nicely done by the Mutas. While buying time, making sure that ByuN can't just run into him. I like this anticipation of this little back attack. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out. It just dies.
That looked like a magic trick.
It did. I guess it was on purpose.
Took me a moment there, but unfortunately, wasting shots on an Overlord, not shooting the mutas. So we're not quite proving its worth just yet, but that Marine count's holding pretty strong. The Baneling count's, well, not that high, but it will be soon.
Hey, that was not that good of engagement for PenguiN. He does manage to get another kill, maybe even cancel. I think it was actually a cancel on the 4th base that ByuN had just started. These mutas are trying to once again pay for themselves, be heroes. I'm worried. Banelings get crashing in here without ByuN paying attention. Maybe that was good enough.
Yeah, but the mutas over here killing 13 SCVs means they're not picking off those medevacs, so just a lot of stability here to sit around and never leave. He's on, what is it, 8 medevacs.
Yeah, and he still has 2 Thors to help if the Baneling number does get a little bit too high. He just had to go back home rather than risk running over Widow Mines, which they were dangerously close to doing. Killing 22 SCVs is good, but really not that fantastic.
He lost
not
the base
quite yet.
for it.
Yeah, he lost a very important base, so I'd still give the rally push from ByuN a lot more credits. He is just rallying forward, by the way. He left Widow Mines and rally. Okay, now he's re-rallying, I guess, to the Widow Mines. So the mutas are gonna maybe get baited. There's a Thor there. Ow! Wasn't just a Thor.
Get baited, nerd.
Exactly. Drones went down as well to something or another. 9 of them. I guess that was just them rallying forward, co-mining. Dum-dums. And ByuN has a 60 army supply lead just about. And that looks like it might just be it.
Pretty good for ByuN. I want to know what this idle time counter is all about, because ByuN is getting wrecked in idle time. GG. Alright, ByuN will take the Series 3-1 and qualify to IEM Shanghai, making many fans very happy, I'm sure. But PenguiN will still have one more chance to play. That weird 9th/10th place decider match. But we got to figure out what the last best of 5 in the losers bracket we cast before we move on is. So 2 best of 5s remain on the show. But guys, I'm actually going to be taking off here. Zombie Up is going to be taking over to solo cast the last 2 games. So thank you very much for that, by the way.
No problem.
But yeah, the stream will be coming down. There's going to be a blip. Please don't freak out in about 3 minutes from now, because I think that's the stream delay. Just hit refresh and the stream should be up and running.
Yep.